Hey, everybody. Hey. Happy Friday and top of the morning to you. It is mid-morning on Friday. A lot of data streams into the Weather Center 24/7, really. And some of that data is pointing towards some interesting weather. So we're going to dive deep into it, as deep as we're comfortable doing, really, in this space. But thanks for stopping by the Weather Lab. That's for sure. Happy to have you. And again, I'm sure if you've stepped outside, you can. Sorry, I have text messages coming in and a lot of things happening in life right now. So sometimes you gotta look at your phone, and that app better start working. Sorry, I digress. We've got a lot of things to talk about. So, in the short term, it's colder. I'm sure you've felt that outside. The long range is colder. So our January thaw is over and done. Okay, we're done with the warmth, probably for a couple of weeks at least. So that's intriguing. There are some signals that it gets even, I'd use the word wicked cold, not next week, but the week after. Again, that's way out there. We'll pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. It's Friday morning, long weekend ahead with the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on Monday. Schools are off. People like to go skiing. People like to do stuff and be able to enjoy the NFL playoffs without having to worry about homework or going to bed or anything like that. So we'll dive a little bit into that later too. But first, as always, we talk rundown. And the rundown on this Friday, the 16th of January, shows what's happening. Windy and colder out there. Yeah, it feels cold thanks to the wind. The sun's nice and bright. But I tell you what, it feels pretty chilly. Earlier this morning, the wind chill went down below zero in some Northwest hill towns. We've rebounded single digits in teens right now, and we'll look at that coming up. Snow develops by morning. Late tonight, early on Saturday morning, some snow develops. I think it's light, but it can pick up in intensity during the morning on Saturday. I think tomorrow's festive and beautiful. I'm going to get up and have coffee, put a fire in the wood stove, and sit by a window and watch it. So feed the birds, make sure the birds have some food, so you can sit and watch their beautiful colors against the white snow tomorrow. Then we're watching Sunday too. What? We can't get accumulating snow around here, can we? Well, we might. We'll definitely get some accumulating snow tomorrow. It's not a lot, but it's something. And there's a chance that we get grazed on Sunday with a little bit more in the way of snow. Live pictures this morning. They come to us from Litchfield. Just a few scattered, puffy, what clouds are those? Cotton balls. Cumulus clouds. And just a few dotting the skies in Litchfield County. These clouds will thicken up this evening, but it's a sun-filled day, and if it wasn't for the wind, it'd be kind of nice, and the breeze will be blowing around. So the feels-like temperature right now in Waterbury, I think that's a pretty bellwether for what's going on. 9 in the hills of Waterbury. Feels like 10 in Meriden, 10 at Windsor Locks. That is no bueno. 10 at Norfolk, and it was 1 below zero. I say Norfolk because I went up there and visited on Monday, and that's how the natives say it. But for most of us, we say up in Norfolk. Up in the icebox, it's 10 for the feels-like temperature right now. When the wind hits you, 20 in Ashford. Not ideal, but we've seen worse, and we'll have worse next week. So be ready for it. Next up, live satellite and radar. There's not much happening around Connecticut. A few lake effect flurries they came through last evening. They were just that, flurries. I'll show you something that's kind of cool. First of all, the lake effect machine is dwindling, but check this out. Look how narrow this band of snow was this morning. It was like 20 or 30 miles wide at its thickest. I'm sorry, no, it was like 3 miles wide, 3 or 4 miles wide. I saw a meteorologist up in Rochester looking at it. It was going right across Sodus Point in upstate New York. A lot of times people from central New York, like myself, we joke that people around here can't drive in the snow. And then yesterday there's a 30-car pileup in Syracuse, or south of Syracuse, right in this area, around Lafayette. I-81 was closed. 30 cars piled up into each other. That's no fun. So we can't just say Connecticut people can't drive. Everyone's lost their patience when it comes to driving. All it takes is one mistake. And we know that. So radar here is empty. Skies are pretty much void of cloudiness. Oh, Robert James. Okay, let's I'm going to take you through the next. I wanted to show you a little different angle of this, but this will be fine. This is future radar and satellite. This is a model called the Graph, IBM Graph, RPM for a while, rapid precision model or something. I forget what they. So this shows later tonight some snow developing. Where? Northwestern Connecticut. So it's 7:30 in the morning and snowing across Litchfield County. Remember that. Some flurries or light snow possible in Danbury. Again, this is not to be taken with exact precision. All right. It does the best it can do. And what it does, it gives us a way of showing you our thinking, or at least gives us an idea of how things will happen. And then the snow can become a little bit more widespread through the morning. But notice where it's focused. Northwest, not southeast, not New London County, but Litchfield County. Let me just take this back and hit the space button. So yeah, it lets me draw. Our machines are kind of cool, and we just have to sometimes figure them out. Okay, so it's snowing in Northwest Connecticut all morning tomorrow. I want you to see these arrows. If you're a snow lover, especially along the shoreline, those are not the arrows you want to see. Southerly breezes have a way of just any snow love. Feel free to jump in the comments too. I'll get to questions. This southerly breeze, temperatures of 30 to 40 tomorrow from northwest to southeast, that does not bode well for snow lovers. So what happens? It changes to rain down in southeastern Connecticut as this whole area of precipitation tends to glide to the east, as you see here. And it would end in the afternoon. So it arrives early in the morning and ends in the afternoon, but midday in the central part of the state. Central part, all right, 3, 4 o'clock, mid-afternoon. All right, so this has become more and more impressive over time. And for that reason, we've made some changes to our forecast. So that's future radar in the short term. Now let me see if the computer will let me zoom out. Let's see. Well, I got to put a pause in there. This is exciting, I know. We're going to let that play, and then I'm going to zoom out because Sunday morning, there's some weather, not too far away, but a little too far away for any super excitement. At least the RPM feels that way. We'll get into this a little bit deeper coming up, but there's a low out here, and whether or not it develops there or here remains to be seen. And that's what makes our job so fun. It is Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. There is going to be some sort of low pressure system out there. And as you can see, it evolves into something kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and zoom in because we can. All right. This is 7 p.m. The Patriots Texans game would be ending, but if I take it back, it's snowing during the game. I knew that was going to happen. It would be snowing during the football game, like snow developing and snowing in southeastern New England. Sorry, the map's jumping around a little bit. That's interesting. All right. We call it the windshield wiper effect. It drives me crazy, but this is what happens is that a lot of our model data and the suite of data we look at takes a storm out to sea. Then it inches back toward the East Coast, and then it goes back. See what I'm doing? It's like a windshield wiper. And even with AI, even with all these different data choices for us, it makes forecasting difficult, to say the least. Let's see if I can make this happen. Okay, so here's one depiction, and these change on the go too. And this, I believe, is I should have looked. Let me think. Okay, that I believe is, whether it's the GFS, I can't see, or the Euro. That's the GFS. The Euro is a little bit further out to the south and east, meaning less impactful snow Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, early Monday morning. Monday's a holiday, doesn't really matter. The GFS is hugging it a little bit closer. Now, this low is, the energy for this low is probably somewhere in the Western Plains. And I would say Northwest Territories, like it hasn't formed yet. So in the next 48 hours, it comes racing across the continent. So it's hard for us to get too freaked out about the exact position of a low pressure system. All right. But the possibility is there that we get more than just grazed. I still think it would be a 2 to 4 inch snow potential Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. Southeastern sections favored. Tomorrow, southeast sections are not favored, right? Because of that south wind, nothing more than a coating or some chilly rain showers in New London County. Although away from the sound, you get that 1 inch amount. You could get 1 inch in Hartford. But as Alexis and I was looking at stuff at 3 a.m. and I wanted to make a change. And sometimes you just want another pair of eyes. So we've made a change now. And this is now the potential. Remember what I said there when we were looking at future radar is that it snows the longest and it's the coldest away from Long Island Sound and in the hills of Northwest Connecticut. For that reason, I've upped it just a little bit. And I verbalized this all morning on TV, but I'm presenting it out here now in the socials. And we may tweak this again when Steve gets to chew on the data all day and new data comes in. But this seems like a pretty good spot to be in for tomorrow. I mean, it's like the winter summed up in this event. It's a nothing burger, and then it becomes something, and we'll watch. It'll change by this evening. It'll go back to a nothing burger. But this is where we sit right now, and I don't like making changes constantly to these things, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. So that's that. That's tomorrow, and I'm sure some people are happy about that, and some people aren't. Feel free to jump in the comments. We do have a lot of viewers out there kind of sampling here, and I love that. So thanks for stopping by. Kind of deep thoughts with Bob when it comes to the meteorology of things. So today, sunny, breezy, chilly. That west to southwest wind is blowing pretty good, 10 to 20 miles per hour. And temperatures only topping off upper 20s to middle 30s. This is 15, 20 degrees colder than yesterday. All right. It is plenty chilly out there. And that's kind of a sign of where we sit. Sunny, breezy, chilly. I say it's colder than yesterday. It is not as cold as next week, but not really, bitterly cold. And this is with the sun out, temperature 34 Old Saybrook, but 29 Torrington. So it's always colder in those northwest hills. Tonight, clouds thicken, temperatures fall back into the 20s to around 30. It's not a very cold night. The winds relax, and that snow develops by morning in Salisbury, in Torrington, Goshen, New Milford, Heartlands, maybe Simsbury, Avon, over to Canton, New Hartford, Barkhamsted, down through Harwinton, and maybe into Bristol and Plymouth too. The snow breaks out. So tomorrow's planner, hello, there's some snow showers, steadier snow as the morning wears on into the midday and then ending. Again, we think 1 to 2 inches will be the maximum for many in the urban centers, but you get up into the Northwest Hills, and 2 to 4. If I don't really have plans tomorrow. I need to relax. It's been a crazy week. And looking back at 2016, like everybody is on social media, I would say I would be skiing tomorrow. I'd be going to Mohawk, Sundown, or Southington because I think it snows nicely. And I love skiing on fresh snow, but I haven't skied in a long time, so can't ski. But you look at these high temperatures. It's notably chillier than it's been. Is it anything crazy? No. But let's track it. All right. Today, 32. Tomorrow, with snow and some raindrops mixed in, especially at the shoreline, 36. What's this? Whoa, that's cold. And then we rebound a little bit heading through the week next week. It's nothing historic, but it is sustained chill is the way we'll term it. Let me just see what the next graphic is here so I can sound cool. Okay, so sustained chill seems to be building. I think it gets even colder. So let's now revisit the Sunday thing once again. There could be snow in the deep south. This is all over the socials. Florida, somebody already commented. Oh boy, people are already asking for the snow totals. It is my least favorite question because I've gone through it 3 times, but I'll get to it. Joanne, cold in Florida. Yeah, it's an iguana warning because the iguanas fall from the trees. So let's look at Florida. Northern Florida has some rain breaking out. And look at that. It might snow in Pensacola, maybe Tallahassee or Gainesville. Probably won't, but it could. And then that is the part of the low pressure system that comes up the coast, and you see how it grazes us on Sunday with some potential accumulating snow. Again, I don't think it's a lot. So our latest thinking on this is it is an offshore storm. How close it comes is the big player here. It looks like it has some moisture, not a ton. Like we're not trying to decide between a blizzard and a foot of snow and nothing. It's more like very little or nothing to 2 to 5 inches of snow. Could happen. Again, it's Friday morning. We're talking about something Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday morning. So you're still, 60 hours out. So things can change. It is trending a little bit closer to the mainland, the east coast of the United States. So that's that. And the snow would be southeast Massachusetts, but maybe southeast Connecticut too. So that's what we're kind of watching with this off coast. And that's, of course, would have an impact on this. The football game, the divisional round. Do you remember the Raiders coming up here on a Saturday night back in 2001? The Snow Bowl with Adam Vinatieri kicking those field goals. And I still watch those highlights. I'm a Pats fan. I've been a Pats fan since the early 90s. From when they were bad. Dick McPherson, remember him? Rod Rust, Tony Eason. Oh, those were some tough years. And then they became champions for, decades, it seems. And now they're back, and they take on the Houston Texans. We'll call them the upstart Texans against the upstart Patriots. C.J. Stroud, turnover prone. Drake May had a couple turnovers last weekend. So it could and has the chance, a rising chance of becoming a snow bowl. I also want to look at temperatures. Look at these low temperatures Monday, Tuesday, and especially Wednesday. The average low is in the upper teens. We could be falling into the single digits. And I want to show you just one model. And I'm going to highlight a couple things here. I'll get my handy pointer out here in just a second. I want you to notice next week. Okay, this is, today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, chilly. Tuesday, we have 21 for a forecast. The European model, the ensemble has 24. It's very similar. And then it's slightly milder. Then look at the temperatures fall off a cliff here early next week. And a lot of people on social media, we call them social meteorologists, have been jumping all over this like it's the coming of an ice age, but it's just a shot of what I call about time cold weather. We haven't had a lot of cold weather the last couple of winters. We know that. But this January is looking like it's going to average out below or even end up well below average with some morning lows down below zero. I know this says single digits, but I think it could end up being colder than that. I think it's like, I can't see. My eyes are bad. Oh, I can look over here. Yeah, 5 and 4, but I saw some other data that showed below zero morning low temperatures, which is not uncommon around here, not even record breaking. And then when we say slight moderation up into the mid 20s, that's what I would refer to as the real deal as far as the chill goes. I want to say good morning. They better be in the classroom studying right now. But on Monday, I spent time at the Botel Elementary School in Norfolk, or Norfolk, as they say up there. And this is the entirety of the 3rd and 4th grades. What you think about that for a second, how small that school is. And they were wonderful kids, wonderful teachers, administrators, paras. It was awesome. We had a great convo. These are the 5th and 6th graders, all of them. And I tell you what, the ratios, people talk about parent or teacher student ratios. The ratios are awesome here. And it's a small school, but a warm community. And check out what AI did. That's kind of scary. They had this poster up for BES, Botel Elementary School in Norfolk. And they talk about meteorology every single day. And that's an AI image of me, and it's kind of scary how much it really does look like me pre-goatee. I just made a rhyme, pre-goatee, AI. 10-day forecast. Snow showers tomorrow, and as we talked about, accumulations of 1 to 2 for most in the urban centers of Hartford and Waterbury and maybe Danbury, but I think there's going to be an area of 2 to 4 inch amounts north and west, and lesser amounts south and east of 84. And so it's worth noting that I think roads can become slippery in the Northwest Hills where temperatures stay below freezing or get close to it. So treatments and plowing may be needed in a few areas in the western part of the state. And then that whole Sunday afternoon, Sunday night thing is creeping closer and closer. The holiday on Monday is chilly for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, 31. Cold on Tuesday, 21. Cold on Wednesday, cold on Thursday. And then a wintry mix next weekend. So keep this all in mind. Temperatures will be a little bit milder at the shore, and the same threats for precipitation, although raindrops would mix in along the shoreline tomorrow. Better chance of accumulating snow by later Sunday and Sunday night, especially east of the mouth of the Connecticut River. So keep it in mind. From Old Lyme, keep it in mind. I'm doing all these poets. I'm a poet. East of the river, keep it in mind, Old Lyme to Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, not a lot, but something. And then there's those issues as we go into next weekend. Okay, so let's put up the live pictures because it's so beautiful out there right now. And with that, we'll answer some questions. There's lots of them. Oh, boy. Okay, we're going to go through these and have some fun, kids. Good morning from Joanne. Joanne, good morning back to you. Enfield total. 1.7 inches of snow. You know we can't be that exact, but I'm going to drip it slightly in sarcasm. 1 to 2 inches of snow seems most likely in Enfield. 1.7. It's cold in Florida. Finally, you're bringing us some snow. I hear you. Myra, bringing some snow. Not a lot, but some, yes. Happy Friday. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that. Want to take 1 minute here since we have a nice, solid amount of viewers. I want to thank the hundreds that came out to Duncan Park yesterday. I was up on my Facebook Live page talking about the blood drive. New Beginnings Blood Drive with NBC Connecticut, Telemundo Connecticut, the Hartford Yard Goats, and of course, the American Red Cross. And their regional executive director, Richard Brannigan, just one of the nicest humans you can ever meet. And we had, I think we topped 130. That can save as many as 450 lives. Pretty cool. All right. Eddie came out and donated for the first time. Our videographer, Carlos, came out and donated for the first time. Steve Glazier donated for the millionth time. And there were others. And it's great. I love when my teammates come out and help the cause. Eddie did double red, power red, they call it. And I did the same, which is they take 2 pints of blood and put a pint of good stuff back, like saline and other things that you need. But feeling strong, feeling great. And I want to thank, again, everybody for coming out and helping out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's answer some more questions. Glasses needed. I'm 60 years old. It happens. And there's Lynn, of course, saying good morning. And Phil Anderson saying good morning. That's a beautiful dog. Sheila. What a cool spelling of the name Sheila, by the way. Sheila E. was a great 80s performer, percussionist for Prince, and had a couple hits of her own that we used to dance to in the club. Glamorous Life was one of them. Do you remember? I remember. I digress. Michelle, good morning, Bob. What would the total be in Waterbury? 2.7, I think, is a good number. 2.4, 2.7. We'll see how we do. It's been over 20 years since I skied last. I haven't skied since 2018, and it drives me crazy. I loved to ski. I grew up in New Hampshire. My wife and I dated over skiing because we loved it. Pre-skiing is fun too. Just do it carefully. There's a great vibe after spending the whole day in the cold, fresh air. I don't care where you're skiing. New England, Colorado, Utah, Lake Tahoe. There's just something about being out, and it's a great way to have winter pass, of course, is to go snowshoeing or cross-country skiing. Some people love the Nordic. Some people like the Alpine. And whatever you do, I think it's just a great way to make winter go by faster so we can go back to golfing. That's how I roll. Here's Jackie. Great to meet you yesterday. Oh, this warms my heart. Wanted you to know many donors said they came in because you mentioned it on your broadcast yesterday. Thanks for all you do for the Red Cross. I'll tell you what, their stories yesterday. A lot of people are scared of needles. I understand. I don't love needles, but I give blood. Been giving blood since the early 90s, somewhere up around 80 to 85 pints. I don't do it to brag. You do it when someone comes up to you. And I met a young lady named Elizabeth. And she noted to me that she was diagnosed lymphoma. I might get the name wrong, but a blood cancer when she was pregnant with her daughter. You married? Are you a woman? You have been pregnant? Have you given birth? Could you imagine that type of news? Stage 4. Stage 4. Blood transfusion saved her life. Saved her child's life. She has a daughter named Hannah, thriving at 4, going on 5 years old. Think about the miracle that is. Let that sink in for a minute. That's why we give blood. It's a small sacrifice of an hour of my day. It's simple. There's blood drives all over the place every day. You go on the Red Cross website, AmericanRedCross.org. 1-800-GIVE-LIFE, I believe. Google, Siri, AI. There's always a need for blood. There was a 3-car crash on 84 a little while ago. There's crashes. Trauma happens every day somewhere, obviously in our state and in America. Those trauma victims need blood. So we give blood. I met a gentleman who has grown twins. His name will come to me. He was on our television this morning. Gosh. It's a name I know, and it's going to drive me crazy. Is it Steve? I'm guessing his twins were preemies, and they needed a lot of blood transfusion. Yesterday was the first time he was able to give, and they're grown, like studying for their masters. So they've thrived and overcome a lot of challenges. Why? Because of blood. Okay, I digress. Back to weather. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for those of you that came out and gave blood yesterday. What's the coldest day ever reported? Where? Phil, you can't ask that question without giving me a where. In Connecticut? Watch this. This is how simple it is. Hey, Siri, what's the coldest temperature ever registered in the state of Connecticut in the United States of America? 32 degrees below zero is the coldest temperature. It occurred, and now thermometers may not have been super accurate. Falls Village, Connecticut, on February 16th, 1943. It was 32 degrees below zero. There you go, Phil. In the world, it's got to be in the Arctic or Antarctica, or Siberia. I don't know what the coldest is. Google it. It looks like a great weekend to stay in and cook for a week. Carrie, tell me what you're cooking, because we're trying to figure out dinner tonight. Watch some hockey. I'm a huge college hockey fan. Tomorrow night's a huge game with Quinnipiac. How do you pronounce it? Any grads out there? Any residents? Anybody work there? Go there? Why do announcers, especially in college hockey, say Quinnipiac? I just always said Quinnipiac. Just say it real fast, like we'd say New Haven. Quinnipiac. Well, they take on Cornell, and that's my alma mater at Cornell. It's a huge game on Saturday night. It's big games all weekend, really. Princeton and Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac visit. So we were trying to figure out what to do for dinner. I think chicken parmesan, because my wife told me she's making chili for Sunday's football game, and that's my favorite. Maybe she'll use real meat too. She's been using turkey meat, which I know it's healthier, but I digress. It does look like a good weekend. I'm a native Floridian, Jacksonville, and believe me, it can snow in sunny Florida. Yeah, Dallas, cool name, cool profile picture. And I was down playing golf in Ponte Vedra once. I was lucky to play the stadium course. And it was not warm. It was early December, and it was in the 50s, and it was a dry, cold wind blowing, like colder than it should be, raw. Hoping for snow, says Greg. Greg, you've been hoping for snow on social media with us, I think, for decades. And I love your enthusiasm. Thank you for always being in touch. These storms are getting harder to predict in recent years. Are they? I don't think they're actually harder to predict. There's way more data that can steer everyone, including trained, deep-thinking meteorologists. I just think there's so much noise that it seems like they're harder to predict. There's so much noise on mediums, just like I'm sitting here talking to you right now. There's a lot of noise. And I think it makes it confusing to everybody. And we also have so many newscasts, and there's so many forecasts floating around from there's so many different sources, some trusted, some not. I mean, 10 years ago, we used to joke, and it's kind of rude, but we say, oh boy, the 12-year-old the 18-year-old in their parents' basement is throwing out a forecast, and it's getting as much attention as ours is. Because there was a day where 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 11 p.m., that was it. Like, we had big news in those times, like a huge amount of viewers. But now you have a million choices to get your content, and it's different. It's just different. And there's so much noise that it makes it confusing. I don't think the forecasts, I don't know if they're really that much more difficult. There's just a lot more noise. And that's a Kenny Chesney song. Bryant. Hello, Bryant. I met Bryant once at Fidelco, and it was an enjoyable day. Not sure he works there anymore, but that was a great time. Flying to Orlando tomorrow to take the family to Disney World for a few days. I heard you say this morning that we could have a southern wind, which makes for harder accumulations. When will those winds? They're already from the west and southwest. You're flying out of Bradley, I'm guessing, Bryant. If you're flying out of New Haven, I still think you're fine. The temperatures are above freezing. The snow's not hard enough to make problems. So no matter what airport, I think you'll be okay flying out. Just, take it easy driving to the airport. There might be one slippery spot. Bryant, good morning to you, and thank you for checking in. He is a weather geek, and I bet you he's giggling right now. Regina, good morning. Good morning to you, Regina. Chris Whedon, thank you. What a sharp-looking young man he is. Keep the snow up in Connecticut. I'm sick of it. That's why we moved. Nancy, wow. Nancy coming off the top rope here, just, slamming. That's why we moved. I get it. I'm with you. Someday I'll move. Good morning, Bob. Next Friday is my birthday. Oh, that's right. You're coming from the Albany area. There's a chance of a wintry mix next Friday. I'm not going to mess with you, Sarge. You never mess with someone with the name Sarge, by the way. Keep asking. I'll be here all next week. Tip your waiters. Why do people say that? Try the lamb. I'll be here all week. There's something fishy for next week. So let's just keep in touch. I don't think it'll be bad enough to drive in, but So what do you like more, day of skiing or a round of golf? 10 years ago, equal. I still like, and I think skiing is an amazing release. Thousands of people will be in their cars today driving north, and I'll pull up the travel forecast in a minute. They'll be driving north to go to New Hampshire, Vermont, or the Adirondacks. I spent a lot of time in the Adirondacks. I'm from upstate New York. The amount of Connecticut license plates at a place we go to, the Whiteface Club, is amazing. You go down a Main Street, and I almost feel like every other car is Connecticut. It's like it's just a beautiful place to visit year round, 12 months. There's nothing. I think it's hard to. I won't spend too much time on this, but since Brian asked, you're at the top of a blue circle or a black diamond. I don't need double black diamonds in my life anymore. There's a trail over at Loon Mountain. It was one of my favorites. Had a beautiful, constant constant slope, a little sideways called Walking Boss. It was off North Peak. And once you got into a rhythm, it was heaven, because you weren't going to go flying off the side of the, it was wide but steep enough. And you used to just get into a rhythm with your friends, and everyone would be hooting and hollering, especially first chair, right? First tracks, groomed or a little powder. And there was this unbelievable release of whatever those joy hormones are, the endorphins would just take over. It's 5 degrees out. You're freezing cold, but skiing is amazing. When I was able to do it, I loved it. Being on the edge and carving, sharp turns. My skis actually started outperforming me. It's another one of the reasons why I stopped, is that I couldn't keep up with my Salomons. They were like driving a Porsche, and I needed a 77 Eldorado. It just was hard to control them. I know there's millions of skis out there, and there's probably a boot that my foot would fit in. I just don't know if I want to invest $1,000 on something that could hurt me, and then I wouldn't be able to golf all next year, because old guys like me take longer to heal. There's nothing like a round of golf. As frustrating as golf can be, it's you, the golf ball, and the greens and the fairways and the competition. I love. It's a toss-up. I donated yesterday, and it was the 9-gallon mark. Phil, can we all clap? I'm clapping for Phil right now. That's amazing. 9 gallons. I want to say I'm at 8. I'm going to catch you, Phil. I'm going to catch you. I'm not positive that the pint counter on my card in my, when you do the QR code, I'm not sure it's keeping up. But Phil, way to go. That's a lot of lives you've impacted. Can't say you've saved every life that the pint goes to, but you've done good work. I'm proud to know you. Bob, do you find it easier to forecast thunderstorms in the summer or snowstorms in the winter? What an interesting question, Chris. And I'll leave it on the screen. Let's put it this way. With modern technology, I think thunderstorms are easier to forecast. It's frustrating because we can have a severe thunderstorm watch, right? We can take it to the level of a watch box, and not every town gets hit. Invariably, there's a comment on Facebook or an email that says, I canceled my daughter's birthday party and it never stormed in my backyard. But that person, naivety, ignorance, has no idea what happened 2 towns over. So thunderstorm forecasting, I think, is easier, but it has its frustrations because, one, not every town gets hit. The towns that get hit can get hit hard. We know that. We've seen tornadic activity, severe thunderstorms, trees, damage, death. It's terrible. But I think the models, the high resolution models, have become very reliable. Snowstorms, on the other hand, impact everybody to a lesser degree. If someone dies in a snowstorm, it's horrible luck. It's the worst case scenario. But people drive too fast. You see it every single day on every road. I used to say the highways. I got passed over double yellows on a state highway Monday, and there was no visibility forward as far as seeing a car coming in the other direction. I'm up in the Northwest Hills, and I'm going the speed limit, and I get passed. So it's no longer just on the expressways, highways, parkways. It's everywhere. People are driving like lunatics. I'm not just being the old guy, like grumbling. And that turns into bad things when there's snow, because you can't drive crazy. Everyone used to joke, a 4-wheel drive SUV helps you go. People go too fast and then they can't stop. Now it's everybody. Every sedan, every 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, everything everybody's just going too fast. We know it. So snowstorms are difficult to forecast, but the impacts really should be less, although they're more widespread in coverage. If we spend tomorrow morning, heading out to the hockey games, youth sports don't stop on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. There's probably tournaments everywhere. You just take it slowly. You just take your time. Don't be running late. Don't rush. Be fine. 1 to 4 inches of snow. Again, we're not Durham, North Carolina. We're Connecticut. We can handle it. But they're equally difficult. But I think thunderstorms, we've got way better timing now of these systems, and maybe that's the way the models have been developed. Is that because of the severity of thunderstorms and tornadoes, a lot of our high resolution stuff is excellent performing. It might miss your backyard, but it happens somewhere, probably somewhere close by. Also, snow. A lot of our snowstorms, like this one, sort of, I believe this is referred to as a Miller A, not a Miller B. When we get a system that's like comes to Pittsburgh, let's just all think Pittsburgh for a minute, and then redevelops out over the ocean, a Miller B, those are incredibly hard to forecast because it happens in a very short window of opportunity, and the models struggle with the location of that secondary development. They always have. But now we get 8, 10, 12, 15, 100 solutions, 200 solutions in the ensembles, and that creates noise and confusion. We used to have 2, LFM, NGM. Pick it, run with it. And we were wrong more than we were right, but at least we had something just to hang our hat on, is that, sometimes the models misconstrued us. Phil's dog's name is Luna. Let me quickly go into the world of canines. My dog Guinness tore his ACL on Monday. Saw the vet on Tuesday, saw the surgery vet yesterday, and we're going to have surgery soon, and it's wicked sad. I have the most beautiful Bernese Mountain Dog, purebred, gorgeous. We also have a rescue, so before someone jumps on and says, don't shop, rescue, we have a wonderful rescue named Atticus, but the burner is going to be on the sidelines. Not good. And we're really sad about it because watching a gorgeous creature try to walk on 3 legs is painful, tear-inducing. I'm not going to lie. What was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, I got home from the burial of my godmother. My dog is limping and having all sorts of trouble. I just sat down. Hey, we're adults. We can admit it. Had a good cry. It happens. Sometimes you got to cry. Just too much going on. Heavy stuff. I got other illnesses too, but that's another story. My parents who relocated to Lincoln, New Hampshire, were so happy to see you here in Connecticut when they would visit. They had a campground and general store next to Clark's Trading Post. Does anybody raise their hand if you know what's Clark's Trading Post is famous for? All right. I love Lincoln, New Hampshire. I think the Woodstock Inn, not the Vermont one, which is unaffordable for most, the New Hampshire one, the New Hampshire Woodstock Inn in North Woodstock is one of the coolest places to visit ever. I've gone to the Woodstock Inn since the late 80s, and I want to go back. Last time I went, I didn't ski. I went snowmobiling. It was so awesome. Loon Mountain is in Lincoln, North Woodstock, exit 33, I think, off of 93. It'll be very crowded there this weekend with Massachusetts folks. Can we get a blizzard? Rachel wants a blizzard. Rachel, good morning to you. I think the profile picture is it's funny. We connect over this image. Can we get a blizzard? I don't want a blizzard. I'll take a nice foot of snow without 50-mile-an-hour winds, but something's always brewing. A big pot of white chicken chili. That sounds amazing. Whew, that sounds so good. So good. Mark, now he's just doing a live. You can say hi to him or whatever. Send him a comment. Just thought you might want to say hi to him because you love him so much. I think Mark sent a message to me that was supposed to go to somebody else. How bad is the snow on Saturday? I have to drive my kids from Newington to Bristol for 9:45. Will I be okay driving? Bruce, interesting question. Love to know what your kids are up to at 9:45 on a Saturday. I think it's sports. I'm just guessing because sometimes the meteorologist has to guess. I think you'll be fine. There'll be snow. I think it'll be pretty light. It'll pick up in intensity at whatever activity you're at. But I don't think this is a problem for the crews. The crews have had a nice break. We've had some black ice. They've had to put some treatments down. But overall, it's been a nice break. So I think the plows and treatments will keep you the road safe going from Newington to Bristol. And that's not even that far of a drive. I think you'll be A-okay. All right. Try to stay on the big roads if you can, because they're always taken care of faster. Chris says, thank you. I say, you're welcome, Chris. I love questions that, we don't always have time to talk about. This is like a form. It's almost like it's a live podcast. Feeling like, Bill Simmons or Keith Morrison was on the Today Show. He's got the 5th most popular podcast, I think, in the world. Keith Morrison from the Dateline Show. He had some funny stuff today on Today. If you can go find it somewhere, I'm sure you can. He's a funny, funny man. He doesn't deal with funny stuff, but he's a funny man. Jill says, let it snow. Jill, I'm with you. If we're going to have winter, we might as well have some snow, I think. Chris, thank you. Appreciate that. Hang in there, Bob. Thanks for the info, Phil. You got it. You got it. You know what? Good morning. Favorite pizza place in the Simsbury area? I love Little City. Rachel, I'm with you. I think, Rachel, you and I could make millions. You want to make millions, Rachel? I don't think Little City deals with any Grubhub. They have no delivery, no Uber Eats, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Little City Pizza is special, folks. It's not New Haven style. It's Little City style. It's its own taste. There's something about the crust. They have a mashed potato pie that is unbelievable with green beans in it. Oh, and the way they do their pepperoni and sausage, Little City Pizza is really, really good. And I'm not getting paid by Little City. I'm just being honest. I would retire someday and get a little delivery truck and call it Little City Pizza Delivery. And I think tips alone, I'd be a zillionaire. Zillion, not million, not billion, not gazillion. I'm talking zillion. I think the thirst is there. Now, I'll be honest. Last night we needed delivery, and we got another great place in town is Iron Horse Boulevard, Iron Horse Pizza, which is part of People's Choice Pizza, and Iron Horse Pub, and that's really good too. That's gonna be my lunch when I get home. Be honest with you, I don't mind cold pizza. I live with it. I love it. So there's that. Oh, they're competitive dancers. Cool. I had that in my family too. The work that dancers put in. Wow, the amount of practice. I salute them all. In fact, we have a Simsbury dancer who is a professional. She's like on the pro tour. So very cool. And the music, the choreograph, the work. Man, so many people think, my kid's going to be the best hockey player, basketball player, soccer player, football player. Dance. I bet dancers put in more work. I'm just saying. Anything major in the forecast for next weekend, Stephen? There's stuff. It's just too early to get too crazed about it. But we put it this way. There's be a very cold week next week. And then the jet stream, when the jet stream goes into sort of some flux, and what's going to be fluxing is it's going to kind of kink, and there's stuff that runs along, we call it an overrunning weather pattern. And that's why we think there could be some snow or ice or rain from Friday to Sunday or Monday of next week. We'll narrow that down as we get closer. But yes, something is kind of there. And as that goes by, another piece of the polar vortex, if you want to go there, but another shot of cold air, and I talked about it a little bit earlier in the webcast, brutal cold next week. There could be a couple of days where highs are in the teens or even single digits, high temperatures. So it's a real shot of some super cold air. I'll you know what? I'll pull up a graphic since we can talk about it. We have that freedom. It's America, and I'm on all these services free of charge, and I can talk as long as I could talk all day. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. Okay, watch the arrow. See the purples and pinks are the different shadings of pink to white is the really cold stuff. So let's talk football for a second. That's Chicago. Oh, wait a minute. You can't see it. Robert, watch the cold air go across Chicago. And it has a real Arctic core that comes across the Dakotas during the day Saturday, dropping into Iowa and Missouri. And, Chicago's going to be so cold. Then they play Sunday night, and it's still cold out there. I think it's going to be probably in the single digits. That's cold. Okay, but watch what happens. See this next area of pink? Ouch. That's the middle of this week. That's the middle of this week. And then there's another shot that comes down next week. That is some true Arctic air. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Tina says, love Little City. I saw someone on social media predict a warm February. Oh, gosh, Cheryl, I don't know. I want to get through the weekend. I know that sounds like I'm not trying to be flippant. I think when we start looking out 30, 30 to 60. I think I'm not going to say it's silly. We waste a lot of oxygen on it. And what does warm mean? See, they can say above normal temperatures. It means it could be a half a degree above normal or 10 degrees above normal. And nobody knows that yet. Okay. I appreciate the question. I appreciate you viewing in. Long range, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, 90 to 120. I just think it gets a little bit too much attention or hype. Tina loves Little City Pizza. Now, it'd be nice to plan. Now, if I were sitting here real quick doing energy futures, I would be diving way deeper into that. But my future is this weekend and the cold next week. That's where Bob lives in the futures, the commodity trading. But do you order wood? I wish I had more time, but ask me again Monday. I'll try to spend some time this weekend. I got to spend some time in my office at home. I'll try to dive into 30, 60-day forecasts and see if there's any validity to your comment, because that's the reason they're put out is energy trading. Do you need to buy more wood? I had a funny reel going back to the thaw last week where I ordered wood and my neighbors were driving by real slow. They go past my driveway and they give me the old, what's he up to? And I had my reel had 300,000 views. It's crazy. Social media is crazy. I guess the internet has caught on. But that's why you'd ask if it was going to be warm in February, we could save some greenbacks, energy, or wood pellets and all that stuff. So you know what, I will take some time. So Cheryl, I appreciate your question, and I probably rolled my eyes because I get frustrated because I don't personally have enough time in my life to dive that deeply into stuff like that. But it's interesting for sure. You're making me hungry, Phil. I get it. I am hungry, actually. Pizza night here, Rachel. Richard says, hey, Max. Hey, Richard. Nice to see you, man. Kevin. Hello, Bob. Now, Kevin, wait. Remind me, shoreline? So you're maybe looking at some accumulating snow. By the way, thanks for the kids' pool I picked up on the side of your house years ago. Rachel, that's hilarious. Yeah, my kids don't sit in a kiddie pool anymore. 26, almost 27, and 20 going on 21. Pretty amazing. Where does time go? I mean, if you're a young adult with family, it's like this. Again, that's a podcast for a whole nother day. The Greenland block, it is going to help to usher in a lot of this cold air. I'm with you, Phil. Mark says, I agree with you. Little City Pizza is amazing. But Mark, can you put your finger on it? Why? When they were in their old location up in the middle of Simsbury, my daughter worked there. We ate it way too much. You can see. We thought it was the old ovens because ovens get charred. That's why they say Pepe's is so great or Sally's, or we're not going to get into a New Haven pizza debate. But a lot of these old restaurants in New Haven, the pizza's great because it's the old brick oven. There's something about it. And then they moved locations toward Avon, smart, because you want to pull in population closer to 44 and Route 10 and 202. And they have a bigger footprint. There's no way it's not smaller. It's bigger. And they have a bar. So they're winning. They're definitely winning. But we thought, oh no, the new ovens, it won't taste the same. Oh, it tastes the same. And if you've never had it, I'm encouraging you. Okay, enough of that. I love pizza. I live up in Winchester Center, and I'm going out now to put my plow on. Pretty good idea, Brian. Pretty good idea. Come on, Bob. It's going to snow this weekend. Yes, Bob, Mr. McCormick, I've been through it many times earlier in this broadcast. I guess you just dip in live. It's a little frustrating. I understand. Now let me go back, and we'll talk about accumulating snow. That's what we do. Saturday, pre-dawn, it's going to start to snow. And it's going to, I think it can snow all day in the Northwest Hills. It could snow from 4 to 4, 4 to 2, solid 8 to 10 hours, but it's never going to snow super heavy. I think it's going to snow steadily. So 2 to 4, Northwest Hills. It's where it's coldest, high of about 30. 1 to 2, maybe 3 in the dark blue shading from the hills of Tolland through Enfield, Suffield, down through the Farmington Valley. The coding to 1 is because of a southerly wind that develops with this boundary that's kind of seeping at us. So according to one for many, the urban centers, downtown Waterbury, downtown New Haven, Bridgeport, Hartford, Norwich, excuse me, according to one, it's hard to accumulate when it's 35 to 40 degrees and there's a light southerly wind blowing. It just doesn't happen. I'll leave the map up there so people can see it. My computer is telling me that I'm not signed on to, but I am. So please go away. Oh, please go away. Go away. Come on, little box. Go away. Go away. Go away. No, don't disconnect. Okay. So Terry, hey, Terry, sup? She says hi, or he says hi, with an I. I'm not sure. No, it's New England Clam Chowder Day. Bob's into the food discussion. We could have a whole podcast, couldn't you? Just about chowder, and I think people would listen. I've retained a lot of viewers, and we have gone off on tangents, but that's what makes this whole space fun. And I'm going on 55 minutes, and I don't even care. I'm going to head home soon, though. I got to get my dog out. My torn ACL pupper. I love clam chowder. I like Rhode Island where it's watery. I like Boston with it creamy. Not a huge Manhattan clam chowder guy, but you know what? I'm not going to say no to it. I think it's, what is it about clams? You give me linguine and white clam sauce or red clam sauce. I prefer white. But I'll go away from the angel hair or the spaghetti, and I'll go with the, what is it? It's not paglet. It starts with a P, and it's a real thick noodle. It's not an egg noodle, but pappardelle or something. It's so good. It picks up every drop of the clam sauce. Oh, I'm sorry. Bob says Zupard in West Haven. Zupardi's in West Haven is the best chowder. Okay, I love that. Wish they could put more pizza toppings, less cheese on. All right. Hello from Winstead. Hey, Lisa, what's up? Did I drive through Winstead the other day? I just went all around it. I missed it. Penny, no, it's not Penny. It's you know what? It's that important to me. I'm going to Google it. All right. I'm going to Google it because it's that good. And restaurants are starting to serve it all the time. And it's pasta types, thick noodle. Pappardelle. I was right. The pappardelle. I just gotta say it fast. I thought it was tagliatelle, but it's the pappardelle. Oh, it's so good. So good. Have you gone there yet? Have you been there? It's special. It makes it a meal. You don't leave hungry. Let's put it that way. Big Y, what's this? Buy a Y at Captain Parker's clam chowder is really good. I see you're welcome to Cape Cod, Ken. There's a place in Yarmouth that I really like. South Yarmouth. I wonder if it's still there. I thought it was Captain Jack's. No, that's in Narragansett, I think. But there's a place right down by the water that I used to take my youth soccer team to. Really dumb call by me. Night before playing 3 games on a Saturday, hey kids, let's have fried fish and clam chowder. Not a good idea. Parents must have looked at me like I was crazy. In fact, they did. Gloria says, good morning, Bob. Good morning to you, Gloria. And Bob, what time will the snow begin? Judy, I need to know where you're from because, and I'll go through future radar here for the folks that are still on. And this has been an unusually long webcast. It's Friday. I've had a long week. I really enjoy chatting with you guys, so that's why it's going for so long. And I'm going to show a wider perspective this time around for those of you that have stuck around for this 55-minute diatribe of weather. And the reason is okay, perfect. Okay, so here's Future Radar. This is going to answer a few questions that have just popped in. Captain Parker's Pub and Restaurant in Cape Cod, awesome chowder. Skipper Chowder House, good too. I think I've been to those. I think are they in Yarmouth? West Yarmouth? I think they are. Those sound really familiar. Captain Parker's Pub. Oh, sorry, I digress. Oh, Springfield. Judy, thanks for checking in. Judy, I'm not too concerned about Springfield, and you'll see why in a minute. But I think it would start in Springfield. Well, let's take a look together. Future Radar. Sunshine today, fair this evening. Clouds increase, and whoa, take a look. Between 3 and 5 a.m., some light snow is very close to Springfield. So pre-dawn, Springfield to Danbury, but notice how that batch becomes a more extensive batch of snow as we go through the morning into the afternoon. I have Springfield, I think, in my 1 to 2 inch range. It could end up being 3. They're going to battle some temperatures in Springfield, Chicopee, Westfield. Let's say 2 to 3 inches in Springfield. I think it can snow from 4 a.m. to noon, maybe even later. See how it ends pretty quickly in the afternoon? Just for fun, and this is not my forecast, but let me just bring up a graphic because I can in my long-winded diatribe. Where would I find it, Robert? This is what the computer model sees as far as potential accumulation. And again, this is not our forecast, but this is what the model sees. So let's just take a peek at it. And I'm going to look at first southern New England. I know we have some skiers that are tuned in. Okay, so this is the potential. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. That is the worst sounding. I am so sorry I'm coughing. Okay, this is the first batch. Great Barrington is up in that deeper purple. That's why I upped it to 2 to 4 in that exact area. Out in the Catskills, they could get a half a foot. Plenty cold out there. Southern Vermont, you want powder? Go to Stratton, Bromley, or Mount Snow. Might get the most powder out of this little wave of low pressure. Springfield, 1, 2, maybe 3. But it snows at a medium rate for several hours, and that should mean the roads should be okay. Shaded areas, lesser traveled roads could certainly become slippery. Then the second batch. So this is total snow for the weekend. And the second batch is focused on southeastern Connecticut, but especially southeastern Mass, including Foxborough, Massachusetts, which I don't have labeled there. For some reason, Barnstable showed up, and that's where they make really good chowder. Do you like the American model or the European model, Rachel? I want to congratulate Rachel. She's now the 473rd person to ask that question during these socials. It's really a hard question to answer. I think the GFS has been really stinky, and the performance, the grading of it kind of backs that up. In the 3 to 5 day forecast period, it's just stinky. And we got to get better. It's the American forecast model. But I don't know. Let's ask me the same question in 6 months. Artificial intelligence is being brought into this with learning of historic learning into the models, which can be really helpful. So I'm hoping the models get more accurate. But again, there's so much noise, including my voice, that it's hard to say. AM models handling it much better. Ethan, you can't say well, first of all, you can't say that the operational models stink. You can't say that because they're not right or wrong yet. So how can you say that, Nathan or Ethan? You don't know if a model is wrong yet because the event hasn't happened yet. Do you just disagree with them? Is that why they stink? The AM models, I don't know if they're handling it any better than the operational ones right now because I think they're way too aggressive with the QPF amounts, if you want to dig right into it. I mean, the European AI has, we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it Monday and Tuesday. We'll see who was right and who was wrong. We can't say that any model is handling something better because we don't know the end result yet. Nothing's right or wrong until it's right or wrong. None of them are wrong yet. Not even the Japanese, Canadian, any of the models. None of them are wrong yet. You think they're handling them better. But what about Sunday snow? Bob, it matters where you are. You mentioned West Haven. So not much. I think both systems. One system is focused north of you. The other system is focused east of you. And that's the way it looks right now. Okay, for skiers, let's take a look at what happens in this same time period. And as I mentioned, look at let's stop it here. We went out way too far, and can't really zoom in, but let's just focus on that area of southern Vermont. Gets into some decent clash of air masses, maybe a little bit of warm air advection, and half a foot of snow. That would be fun tomorrow morning, wouldn't it? Or, yeah, because that's if I go backwards. I know the timestamp was confusing. Wake up Saturday morning, you ski Saturday afternoon, and you're skiing in powder. That sounds fun to me. Even Stowe picks up 3.5 inches of snow potentially. North Conway, hey, that's nice if you're going to New Hampshire. I don't want to sound like the Chamber of Commerce for the Mount Washington Valley, but they do send me some great videos and pictures. North Conway, known for Attitash. Oh, I haven't been there in so long, I forgot the other name of it. Attitash and something Peak. Oh my God, I'm a loser. You can tell I haven't skied. Also, they have Cranmore, Black. I'm missing one. Wildcat. All of that Mount Washington Valley. That's a beautiful place to visit, by the way. Great ski trail. If you're young and your knees still work, Tim's Trauma. Who would name a trail Tim's Trauma? That's what they named it. I wonder if it's still named that. It's on the original part of Attitash. North Peak. Bingo. Memory comes to me. It's on the original part of Attitash, and it is one of the steepest drops that I could find in all of New Hampshire. There's a couple at Cannon that get your attention, but Tim's Trauma to me was always the steepest. I'm probably wrong. Someone's probably measured it, but it was narrow and you had to make jump turns. And to me, that was steep. Oh, we're talking about Skipper's Landing or Skipper's. Do you ski, Bob? Bob, I used to. I went through that earlier. Hey, Rachel, bye. Thanks for checking in. I used to ski quite a bit. I used to ski a lot. My knees just don't allow me to, and I don't want to hurt myself. Last I checked, snow and ice can be pretty hard. When I was younger, I'd bounce up. But I hit a couple of moguls and I cracked ribs, and I don't want to do that when I'm 60. I think it's the astute and responsible thing. I miss it a lot. Speed, adrenaline, endorphins. I loved skiing. I really, and I miss it a lot. But I just want to hurt myself. If I were to hurt I had a buddy who tore his shoulder out at Breckenridge. He missed like half of the ski season, and he's in great shape. I'm not in great shape. Okay shape. Bye, Chris. Thanks for stopping by. So I do ski. I used to ski. I miss it. I just want to miss golf. I think the golf season for me starts as soon as the course is open in late March. I've golfed as soon as St. Patrick's Day. And doesn't end to me till Thanksgiving. And I've played in December. That's a long season. I don't want to be hurt for it. I don't want to take the club back and have my body hurt. And that's what happens when you ski and you hurt yourself. So it's not a thing about being scared of hurting myself. I just don't want to hurt myself. Pain is no fun. Real quick look at the high temperatures for tomorrow if my computer wants to load. This is the key and why we don't think accumulations will happen, especially along the Connecticut shoreline tomorrow, is that a southerly breeze is not your friend if you love snow. And that's exactly where the arrows are coming from. It's a lighter, look how it's colder up here where I think it'll snow more in the Northwest Hills, but it gets milder from Hartford, Waterbury, south and east, which is not uncommon. And especially with a storm that it's not a strong storm. It's like an area of overrunning precipitation. There's no northeast wind. There's no nor'easter. There's no big whoop. So that's why we don't think much. Hi, Bob. Hey, Michael. Michael Paul, MPK. Nice to see you. Any big snowstorms on the horizon for southern Vermont? Dan, I just talked about a half a foot. That's not bad. Trying to go snowmobiling, but they've had limited snow. You got to go north, my friend. You got to go north. I know you want to go to southern Vermont, but you got to go farther. You got to go up into does everybody know the county in far northern New Hampshire? I always made me giggle. Coos County. I don't know why. COOS. Coos County. That's where they have snow. Go up to Pittsburgh. Go up to the first Connecticut Lake. Go up to the beginning of the Connecticut River. And there's plenty of snow up there. I think. I haven't been there, but they haven't had a lot of warmth. Northeast Kingdom. You got to make the trip if you want to snowmobile. I will say next weekend, there's the potential for some more snow in southern Vermont. So they're going to start to make it up. And then it's wicked cold. So that means there could be more snow anywhere in the Northeast in New England. So The pattern is definitely trending colder and colder and colder. And I want to thank everybody for checking this out. All right, so let me go back full screen, get rid of the comments, and say thank you. All right, it's been a week. As I mentioned, got a lot going on, so a lot between my ears, but I find this therapeutic to go one-on-one or 1-on-1,000 with you, and I hope you have a great weekend. It's a long weekend. Be safe, be careful. It will snow tomorrow, so for some that is a threat of you got to be safe, drive slowly, give yourself a little extra time to get from point A to point B, especially in the Northwest Hills. Then a little bit of snow in southeastern Connecticut Sunday night. Monday is a day off from school, so we don't have to worry about school days, school cancellations, or anything like that. Martin Luther King Jr. If your kids don't understand about his mission, it's a great day to do a little home learning. If there's snow and it's snowing out, go play in the snow, and then maybe learn about the incredible life, of course, shortened tragically, but the incredible life of Martin Luther King Jr. I think it's a lesson. The schools teach it. I know they do. My kids probably know more about Martin Luther King than I do. But that's a salute to the schools. So we'll say so long until Monday. I am working on Monday. I like work. Work is fun. And thank you for tuning in. All right. Leave comments. I'll try to answer some questions later or over the weekend. But have an awesome day, everybody. Be kind.